Hello, everybody. This weekend, I'd like to share with you some thoughts that I've been having recently that unfortunately are rather disturbing to me about my ability to read a book, to really immerse myself in the creative world of an author the way it seems to me I used to be able to do, and I'm not sure that I'm able to do it as well anymore over the course of my life. I'm going to be 61 years old next month, and I guess my memories start about the age of 4. And as you can see, if you've watched just this video or any of my videos, I've lived my whole life surrounded by books. My grandfather, my mother's father, owned a used and rare antique bookstore. It was always sending us books. My father was a librarian, a polyglot. He loved books too. I grew up in houses full of books. My favorite memories of a youth from about that age of 4 were being read to, learning how to read, reading myself, later on reading to my sons. My favorite memories too involve really going to libraries with my father and my brother when I was small, by myself. Later, and again with my sons as a father, just libraries, books. Reading books has just been the essence of my life. I would just, describe myself as an inveterate bookworm, a born bibliophile, somebody who in days past, once I got the ability to read complex, longer works of literature, good novels that are in sort of the canons of world literature, although some of these, like Dickens's novels, may have come out as chapters, as monthly things. Once they're compiled, when we're talking about imaginative works of world creation that are 500, 600, 700 pages long, yes, it was, and it is possible to read those over a protracted period of time, but it's also really, really enjoyable to plunge into a work like that, an 800-page work, and read 400 pages a day for 2 days, and just, spend 2 entire days totally immersed and involved in this world. And I know that that's something that I've done for most of my life. You have to find the right circumstances, but when you have a weekend or a week off. This is the break week in the online academy that where I teach literature and languages and help other people achieve their goals in developing the ability to read in a variety of languages. I just wonder about my own ability now to read the way that I used to read, and to, like I said, to just plunge myself into that world. I got one of my favorite authors is a German, Walter Moers. He's got this wonderful, fantastic imagination. Creates these really, truly bizarre worlds based on German literature, anagrams, and his own imagination, and all sorts of references. And this is his latest novel, Die Insel der Tausend Leuchttürme. I think it came out at the end of 2023. I wasn't watching for it. I got it at some point last year, and I thought to myself, this is the kind of book that I would like to do that with. I'd like to plunge myself into it and just totally immerse myself in it for a couple of days. So I started reading it on a number of occasions, and I started feeling I was dragging it out. And I said, well, I want to wait till I have that time to devote myself to just plunging into it. And even now, like I said, during my break week, when I have the time, I find that I can bracket that time to sit down, and I've got the discipline and the stamina built up to stay here, sitting here for 3 or 4 hours. But my mind, my concentration, my focus want to wander away. They're always pulled in other directions in a way that I don't feel was the case when I was younger. And I do think that it's one of those chicken or egg questions. If I were to spend more time immersed in paper books than I do online, then I probably wouldn't have that problem. But since I spend more time online than I do in paper books, it's hard to turn to that and give that sort of degree of total focus and concentration to a text. But I think that kind of exercise is really worthwhile, not just for the utter enjoyment and the learning experience of being immersed in that author's creative world, but also in that discipline that you have of saying, well, can I stay focused on something intensively in a concentrated fashion for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at a time? I feel that's an ability I used to have, and it's somehow being eroded. Maybe it's just getting older, I don't know, but I do worry that it's the way that we engage with the indubitable bounties of information that are made available to us by digital technology. But that constant pulling in different directions and that constant sort of fragmenting of our attention, that's an inherent part and process, at least in my experience of the entire, what I call a digital revolution that's occurred over the course of my lifetime, compared to my memories of when I was able to sit and read. So I'm making this on a Friday evening, as I usually do. I'll post it on a Saturday morning, and I've got 2 more days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I'm hoping that by announcing my intention to sit and read this entire book in that time period, students in my academy will hold me accountable for that. So I know you are among the people who watch this, so thank you for that. And on Tuesday, make sure that I have read this whole thing. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.